Let's walk. All right, let's see how many steps I have on the step tracker. It is 208. Are you gonna walk with me? Let's see, steps on the step tracker today, 1,562. The question I'm gonna answer today, how do I get my PMS cravings under control? Happens every month, ladies, right? So, six strategies for you today. Number one is awareness. You know this happens. You're standing there and all of a sudden you get your period and the last 3 days of your life suddenly make sense, right? You're not crazy. You haven't lost all sense of willpower. You just had PMS. So let's get ahead of that. Let's be aware that it's coming. Let's not let it take us by surprise. Get a calendar out, use an app. I use an app called My Period Tracker. Track my symptoms, track when my period is coming so I know ahead of time to expect those cravings. Now, for those of us who are in perimenopause, this can be difficult because it doesn't come on such a nice, tidy, regular schedule. It's okay, we just have to work with that. So still track your symptoms, and when it does come, look at the whole body of symptoms, write those down. And so even though if it's been months since you've gotten your period, if you notice this kind of cluster of symptoms coming and you have cravings, you can say to yourself, this is PMS. For me, one of the big ones is breast tenderness. If I'm bench pressing and I pull that bar down and as soon as I touch my boobs, I'm like, ow, I know it's PMS, even though, it's been 3 months since I've had my period. So look for those clusters of symptoms. Why does it help to be aware? Because when we're aware, we can make a more logical decision rather than an emotional one. We're not going just based on our feelings. And this brings me to strategy number 2, which is talk out loud to yourself about this stuff. We're gonna talk ourselves into making a logical choice, not an emotional choice. So things you could say to yourself, okay, I wanna make this box of brownies. I know very well I'm not even hungry. I also know very well I've used all my calories for today. If I bake a box of brownies, what are the chances I'm really gonna have a single serving of brownies even? I will likely have a quarter of a pan of brownies. This is not gonna serve me. I have a goal that I'm working towards. I probably should not bake this pan of brownies if I wanna stay in line with those goals. Maybe I can plan to make brownies later in the week and share some with my kids and my neighbors or my coworkers, or maybe I'll go out and have a brownie later. So talk to yourself through that situation about the logic behind it, not just the emotion. Give yourself a 20-minute rule. What this is gonna do is give you some space to make a choice that you're actually happy with. So what this means is, let's say you're craving chips and you're standing there in your pantry with the bag of chips in your hand. You have a 20-minute rule, which means you leave the item that you are craving, you get out of that space, you go somewhere else, and you do something else. If after 20 minutes you still want it, you've given yourself permission to come back and have it. Chances are, after 20 minutes, you'll be okay and in a better position to make a choice that's a vote towards your goals. So, leave the area, leave all those cues behind. You don't want to sit there holding the crunchy bag of chips, right? While you're trying to get space from it. So, go upstairs and paint your nails. Go outside and visit with your neighbor. Go down to the basement and play with your kids. Do something else somewhere else to give yourself some space to make a choice that's going to help you. In the end, maybe you will want to come back and have that thing, but the chances will be reduced. Strategy number 4. Let's set your environment up for success. Do not keep the things in your environment that you tend to crave. Even if the rest of the month you can handle a bag of chips in the house, if when you have PMS, you really struggle with craving salty foods, just don't have them in there. Doesn't mean you're not going to eat salty foods, but you can go out and get a single serve bag of chips. You can have chips on the side with your sandwich at a deli. Don't keep in your environment the things that tend to tempt you. Strategy number 5 for handling those PMS cravings. Go ahead and have the thing you're craving, but have it in a manageable, controlled environment. What this means is, let's say you're craving ice cream, go out and get yourself a single ice cream sandwich, versus going to the grocery store and buying a 12-pack of ice cream sandwiches, because now you've just set yourself up for this continued battle with the ice cream sandwiches at a time that you are not feeling particularly in control of your emotions around food. So go out and have the one in a controlled situation. Okay, and then the last strategy, and this one might surprise you, but if you continually, month after month, struggle emotionally after PMS, you get your period, and you feel like, oh, I screwed up again, I went over my calories, I indulged so many times, and then you struggle to get back on track and get into your deficit again, it might serve you really well to go ahead and during the week of PMS, to up your calories purposefully to the maintenance level. This gives you much more wiggle room and sets you up to know that you are on plan. So if you have the extra room for the ice cream sandwiches and the chips and these foods that you tend to crave, if you have that kind of padding in your calories, you can end that dedicated maintenance period feeling in control because you are still on plan. That was the plan. And the next step in your plan is to go back into a deficit. Checking the step tracker. It is 2:18. I have 2,285 steps now. I had a new client tell me this week, she told me on the phone when we first started talking, she's like, I have to tell you, I'm just sedentary. I'm just a sedentary person. She said, this is gonna be a real struggle for me. And she told me a few days later, she emailed me, she's like, it's amazing. She's like, I told my husband I wanted to try and get some more steps in. And so we stopped at Hobby Lobby and we just kind of looked around for a while. She's like, I got a couple thousand steps wandering around that store. She's like, I was so motivated that when we left, he had to go get gas. And she said, I'll walk to the gas station. So she walked to the gas station and it was dark. And so he followed behind her while she walked to the gas station because she wanted to at least get 3,000 steps that day. We started really small with her. Start where you are. You'll be surprised at how much movement you can get in a super short period of time. All right, I'll catch you next time on Step and Solve. Drop any questions you have about weight loss. Drop your biggest weight loss struggle in the comments below, and we'll talk about it next time.